from Anshe Sfard Bethel Emeth Congregation. It's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parashat Vayechi, tribal DNA. If we ask ourselves, is it really fair? Every single tribe gets a totally different blessing. One a king, one bringing up the rear, one is going to judge occasionally. One is like a lion, one is like a wolf. Is it fair? Is it right? Well, don't worry about it, because at the end of the brachot says, Zot asher diber lahem avihim vayevarach otam ish asher kivir chato berach otam. That even though he gave each one different types of blessings, but in the end, he said, Kol alan b'chol habrachos berach otam. He joined them all together in all these blessings. The Medrash says, maybe you think that one is like a snake and one is like a gazelle, one is like a wolf. No, he put them all together. He made them all lions. He made them all snakes. After all, Adon is also called a lion as well. So they all come together. The Orach Chaim says that each one got a blessing according to his own Techunat HaNefesh. In other words, he wasn't blessed of some random blessing. He decided to give the kingship to Judah. No, Judah was a lion. Judah was worthy of kingship. He was just blessing him that it should continue to flow from him as it should. And then we have an idea that perhaps the blessings of the tribes are not as set in each tribe as you think they are, as we've indicated. He says that the question is, why is Zevulun listed before Yisachar? After all, Yisachar was a great tribe of studying Torah, as Devorah pointed out. And Zevulun is merely a merchant. True, he supports Torah, but did he learn his own Torah? So there's a medrash which is brought in the Rav Kasher's Torah Shlema, where he says, well, since the seat of the Sanhedrin would eventually move from Yavne, from southwestern Israel to the north, eventually to Tzipori in the north, near Nazareth, and eventually to Tiberias, to Tiberia. Therefore, that's the tribe of Zvulun. So Torah does move to Zvulun. And we say, wait a second. The Torah, after the destruction of the second temple, the Sanhedrin moved from Jerusalem to Yavne and up north. But those people who lived up north, they were not from the tribe of Zebulun. The rabbis are saying that when a Jew lives in Zebulun territory and he learns Torah, it's part of the blessing of Zebulun. It's not only genetic in your DNA, it's also territorial. It's also geographic. When a Jew lives in Zebulun land, you're part of Zebulun. When you live in Dan land, you're part of Zebulun. Perhaps in that light, we could read the Gemara in Pesachim where it says that there was once somebody who was on the coast. He loved the water, and they checked and they found that he came from Zevulun, because after all, Zevulun is prophesied that he would be on the coast. What does that mean? It could mean that his DNA was from Zebulun, or it could mean that we all have characteristics that can become like Zebulun, can become like Judah, and people can play different roles in different times of our lives. The Ksav Sofer, the son of the Chassam Sofer, makes an interesting point about how this process of giving all the blessings to everyone came about. He says, well, Yaakov gave a blessing to everyone. Each child according to their own Techunot HaNefesh, their own characteristics. Then we have Abraham's blessing, the Avaracham Varacheka, that God will bless those who bless the Jews. Since Jacob blessed each Jew, therefore he gets back the blessing that he gave to them. And what blessing did they get? Each one got a different one. Well, but we are all the children of Jacob. So therefore, every child gets some of the blessings that Jacob gave to all of them. And when he goes at the end and he gives one big blessing to everyone, that blessing contained within it the blessing that he had given to each of the children, for which he was blessed with those very blessings. Israel, by its nature, contains all of these brachot. Jacob, by his nature, contains all of the blessings of all of these types of personality traits. And one might suggest that in each one of us, there's a little bit of a Yaakov, there's a little bit of a Zvulun, a little bit of a Dan, a little bit of an Aryeh, and it depends how it comes out. And if we can bring out our natural blessings, our tchunot hanefesh, our natural inclination for blessing, each one of us is capable of amazing things. We have to find that one tribe that's just us, that one characteristic that's just us. But in truth, we could all play that role. If we would move to the north, we could be like the northerners. If we're forced into a position of leadership, we too could be the great leader. Each person, asher k'virchato, we have certain inclinations, we have the potential to get all those blessings that all of the others were given. Sometimes we could be critics of others. Sometimes we could praise others for their characteristics. When you praise another Jew for their characteristics, perhaps the blessings reverberate to you and they come to you. When we appreciate others, maybe we can learn to appreciate those qualities, not just in others, but in ourselves as well. As we give blessings to others, hopefully those blessings reflect to us and they allow us to bring out those characteristics which we see in others, to bring them out in ourselves as well. The converse is true too. When, God forbid, we slander or tattle against another and we find negative characteristics, we're actually probably affecting a bringing out of those characteristics in ourselves. Rather, we should do the opposite. We should see the good in others. And as we see and find blessing in others, God will bless those who bless others. And those blessings which we can see and identify in others, hopefully will bring them out in ourselves as well. Each one of the tribes was blessed with a unique blessing. But in the end, it's the potential for each of us to receive those blessings. But first, we have to find the blessing in others and hopefully bring it back to ourselves. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Anshe Sfard Bethel Emeth congregation here in Memphis, Tennessee for our discussion of Parshat Vayechi. Join us each week for our discussion of various parshiot, holidays, and how-to videos. Thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein. To learn more, visit ASBEE.org.